Hi everyone, welcome back to my today's video. So today we are going to look about something we are all have you wondered like how our online data stays secure, right? So it's all thanks to the cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency as the art of securing the communication. So today we will break down the two main concepts of the cryptocurrency, that is symmetric and asymmetric, and also we will go through the simple way of what is hash function also, that is the three types of the cryptocurrency and how they help in the digital world safe. So let's go to the video. So let's start with the concept, what is cryptography. So basically cryptography, which means in a simple terms we can say like this, secure communication and data. So what is really we have to look what is like cryptography, the definition. It will be like a cryptography, that is a science of securing communication and data, that by transforming the information, information we will get, right, so into an unreadable format or for the unauthorization parties. So it ensures that the confidentiality, so that is the main four goals in this, like confidentiality, integrity and authentication and non-repetition, that is CIAN. So mainly we will say about the CIA, that is confidentiality. Where is the pencil? Like this is the CIA. So basically we will talk about the CIA. That is the main thing that comes in the cryptography. But there is also one concept that is like an additional concept we want to know, that is about the non-repetition. So in the confidentiality claims, which means like we all know that confidentiality, that the normal definition means like data has to be safe, private. So when it's like a definition, we can say that it ensure the confidentiality. What ensure? Like cryptography ensure the confidentiality, which means that data remains private. And when it comes to the integrity, that is like a data is not altered, which means the data is not altered, like it should be keep the data in a, the data has been changed while transforming or anything has to happen. And authentication, which means like we have to verify the identities, like who is like who what, like that we will have to verify, and that is CIA completely. And when it's come to that non-reputation, it means like we have to prove that message origin where it have became. So cryptography, this all like cryptography uses mathematical algorithm, and the key to the encrypt, the key to encrypt means scramble things, and we have to decrypt, like unscramble that, so the data, so protecting it from the eavesdrops or attacker. So this is what the cryptography means. We have to secure our communication and data from the third parties. So like for example, like sending a locked box, that the right way to key to carry, like to protect. So which means like in the cryptography we can say like we are have been locking our if we are sending a box, so we are locking it, means like no other parties can able to open it. So that's basically cryptography. So just is a picture representation of what is cryptography. So it's like a sender is sending an email, and like the cryptography, that is a secure communication has been locking it, that is encrypting it with a key, and it's sending to the recipient, and he with the key that the he had, so he is opening. So this is like a simple representation of cryptography, like a sender is sending with so the data has been encrypted by the cryptography and recipient receiving it. So in this it is like a, sorry, maybe here it is like a cipher test, so you will, I hope you know. So this is cipher. So cipher means like we have been giving a plain text, right, in the email or sending what we are sending in a plain text. So it has been kept in a key, so it will be changed and it will goes in the cipher text. Cipher text means in like in a binary way, like ones and zero. So this is what a cryptography means. So let's now look, this is the like a diagram representation. That's a symbol, like a sender is sending using the encryption server, it is using the encrypted key, it is making a cipher test. And like interceptor, so it is decrypting by the decrypting key, and it is decrypted by the receiver. Just a simple representation to understand more about like understanding the concept. So that is cryptography is like important in the cybersecurity concept, and we have to know the basics for like what's happening in the cyber world. So this is a type, like now we can look the types of the cryptography. So as I mentioned in the introduction video, cryptography has in three types, like symmetric, asymmetric and hash. So like basically it's a more important concept is symmetric when it comes to cryptography, but hash also play a major role in this. So now let's look about what all these things. So firstly we can talk about what is symmetric. So symmetric cryptography, like symmetric also is known as a secret key cryptography, which means like here we can see like as I mentioned. So use one shared key for the encryption and decryption. So like that is means like they use a single key for the both encryption and decryption. So for example I will say like a locker safe we have been sending to a sender receiver. For example I am sending a locker to my friend, so I have been locked with the key. So if he want to open that box, he have to use the same key that I have been locked. So it is like here like we can see only using the single key both the sender is locking and recipients can be unlocked. So they have been using a single key. So that's what the symmetric like the using the one key means. So it's like the single key have been used for the encryption and decryption, which means the sender and the receiver share this key, which means they remain secret to ensure the security. So for example like AES, so is that concept in the WhatsApp and the disk encryption. So we can say like how it works in this way. We can explain like the sender encrypted the plain text, that is our original message, using a shared key. So and like I am encrypting my box with a key. For example, just you can connect with that, and encryption and an encryption algorithm also I am using. I am producing a cipher text. Cipher text means that our text has been like a scramble. Like for example, like my name, and my name is like Gauri, like Gowry. So by using this cipher text, I am scramble. Like my words will be like in a jumble form. Maybe the R will become first, like RWGOY. That's how it will be. So that's how this encryption has been made. Then this the receiver use the same key and the decryption algorithm to convert the cipher text to black. For example, you have been like if you are searching for the cryptography concept, you have been hear about the Alice and the Bob concept in the cryptography. Like for example, I am also using this Alice and Bob. So like if Alice want to send a secret message to Bob, they had to send the same. They both have to need the same key. Like Alice encrypt the message with the key and the Bob decrypt it using the same key. So here you have an example I have been given AES, that is Advanced Encryption Standard, that is widely used for security in the data like VPNs, disk encryption and SSL and TLS. So other than the common algorithm is using like AES, it is DES, like data encrypted standard. I will write here. So like after when it comes to AES, it is common, like it is the one of the famous algorithm. Next it is like DES, like is the data encryption standard, and it is about the 3 DES, like it's an enhanced version of this. So like using the 3 key for the adding like the security, for the security. So that is the 3 algorithms. Mainly it is always, as a beginner we will also always look for the AES and DES. So the main advantages of this concept is like a fast and efficient for the large data. So like the speed, like come to like a symmetric algorithm are like computationally like efficient, making them an ideal for the encryption and large amount of the data. When it comes to the simplicity also, only one key is needed, right? So simplifying the encryption and the decryption process. And when it comes to the resource efficient, so it's like a require the less computational power compared to an asymmetric cryptography. So also they have many disadvantages. So like here I mentioned, it is like a key distribution is tricky. So like that the key distribution, like the sharing the secret key, securing between the parties is a major challenge. So if the key is intercepted, so the system is like compromised. And also the scalability, like managing and distributing the key made like users can become more complex. So the mainly we have been using this symmetric cryptography or symmetric concept is like when it comes to encryption file on a hard drive, like a BitLocker. You guys have heard about that. and also about the securing the communication messaging apps like a WhatsApp, like using AES as I use the example, and also like a protecting data in a transit like such as an HTTPS, and the TLS uses symmetric encryption for the section data. So this is what means by the symmetric cryptography. Now let's look what is asymmetric cryptography. So asymmetric cryptography. So in the symmetric we have been using, as I mentioned, only one key pair has been using, but in this we have been using two key pairs, like two keys, like in the public and the private. So like for example, I will explain by starting an example. It's like a mailbox that a public slot of drop letters and a private key to open it. So that's a simple example I can which means like a sender want to use a private key that we have been he have been said. So we have been encrypted that bit and have open okay. Then another I will explain the concept, then you will understand. Like symmetric cryptography is also known as a public key cryptography. That's using a pair of keys. So a public key like a shared openly, and private key means like a keep secret. Like public key has been we can able to share openly that everyone can see, but the private key we have to keep it secret. So the public key encrypt the data and only the corresponding private key can be encrypted. Like how it's work, like we guys have been thinking about it. For I will say the sender encrypted the message using the recipient public key. What we will say, the sender encrypt the key message. So it is like the sender has to encrypt the message using a recipient public key. So for example, if I am sending a letter to you guys, so I am encrypting the message using your public key. So the recipient, that means you guys can able to decrypt the message using your private key, which is only they possess, like you can only using. For example, if the Alice and the Bob concept. So if Alice want to send a secure message to Bob, she has to encrypt that message with the Bob's public key. So only Bob with his private key can decrypt that and read the message. So that's how the concept has been going. I hope you understand about that. And like asymmetric cryptography also support a digital signature, that a sender can sign a message with their private key and other can verify using the sender's public key, that ensuring the authenticity. So that's what about the asymmetric cryptography. Like we can also see like I mentioned the RSA algorithm. So that's there are some common algorithm when it comes to the asymmetric, that is RSA, that is reversed Shermer Adelman. I hope that's the correct pronunciation. So widely used for the securing data and transmission and digital signature. And next, like one more common algorithm, it is about like ECC algorithm. So the full form, it is like an elliptic curve cryptography. Like it offers strong security with a shorter key length, and like we have been using in the mobile device and the blockchain. So and also we can be using DSA, that is digital signature algorithm, like for using the and creating verifying the digital signature. So now let's look what is the advantages and the disadvantage. So when it concept of the advantages, the main thing, it is like a secure key exchange and support non-reputation. So that is the main concept. So let's say like secure key exchange, which means like it eliminates the need of the share a key, a secret key as in a public key can be openly distributed. And also non-reputation concept means like digital signature can prove the sender's identity and preventing the denial of the sending message. And when it comes to the scalability, it is like suitable for the large scale system like internet and like the world many users need to communicate securely. And when it comes to the disadvantages, it's like a slower and more complex, because as in the we have been saying this symmetric, it is fast because it is sending only one key as we using, but in this concept we are using the two keys, so it will make automatically slower and more complex. Like asymmetric algorithm has been computationally intensive, so make it less suitable for encrypting the large data. And the complexity means like managing the public and private keys and the infrastructures, like public key infrastructure like PKI, and the complex is the complex. And the key security, if like when we are thinking about the key security, if the private key is compromised, the entire system fail. When it's come to the use cases, now we can talk about, like we have been using like a securing web browsing like HTTPS or TLS, sorry, using the asymmetric cryptography for key exchange, and also we have been using for the email encryption. And so basically you can think like which concept using. So for more secure things, like we have to use, we will use asymmetric. For like less secure, when compared to the asymmetric, less security things have been using for the symmetric. But like this concept, it is symmetric, like a less secure, more fast. If you want to send something in a fast way, we have to use that symmetric. When it comes to the, we have to secure the thing, and the data is like more secret or more like a treasure thing, we have to use asymmetric. So that's how the concept about like when it comes to the key difference, it is like we have been we like in the symmetric we have been using a single key, and asymmetric we are using the two key, like a private and public. So in the speed, symmetric is fast and suitable for the large data, and in some asymmetric it is slower, used for the smaller data. So that's more things, like more key difference in between this. So now let's look about what is like hash. So hash function. So hash function is like a mathematical algorithm that takes an input, like our message of any sizes, and produce a fixed size of output, like that is what we call an hash value. So which is typically a string of character, like it is a one way of function, which meaning it's easy to communicate the hash from the input, but practically impossible to reverse the engineer the input into hash. So like analogy we has mentioned like a fingerprint, like once we create like a fingerprint, like once if you create it's uniquely represented, the original data can, but it is an original data, but we can't able to revise. Means like we can't able to turn our fingerprint back to a person, right? So that's a simple example about that. So and also we can say like an example, like the hash function, like this SHA-256. So that is like a using the blockchain, like in Bitcoin, to secure the transaction. And also we be using like MD5, that is older but using the checksum, like through that less secure now. And SHA-1, that is using some legacy system, but largely like we can, due to vulnerabilities, we can't able to use. So the pros and the cons, like the advantages and disadvantages. So like fast computative and data integrative, at least it is like a fixed output size also. And when it comes to the disadvantage, it's like a one way only, which means like two different input might be produce the same hash, so it's like a not reversible, cannot decrypt or retrieve the original data, like if the algorithm is weak also, that all the hash and provide like has like MD5 and SHA-1, like they have an issue with that. So that's what the concept about this. So I hope you understand what is symmetric, asymmetric and hash. That's all about the cryptography, like the three types: symmetric, asymmetric and the hash. Like for like symmetric is fast but need to for more secure key sharing, and asymmetric is secure but slower. That's all concept about that. So want to dive deeper into cybersecurity, so you can subscribe for more. And if you have any doubt, like I am doing a cybersecurity course, like I'm from Kerala, so I'm doing a cybersecurity course. From wherever you want to, like in all part of the world, you can learn the cybersecurity concept. If you have any doubt, like if you want to learn cybersecurity, you have to, like you can comment on down. So or like I have been mentioned in my YouTube, like in the bio I have been mentioned my Instagram, so you can also like put the message about how I want to learn the cybersecurity. So like how I learn the cybersecurity, I'm a student still learning, so you can message. So like comment down like what are the things I have to teach, or if I want to make anything change while teaching the concept, the way I'm speaking, like what one thing you have to learn, or what one thing I have to change. So that's all about the cryptography today. So please subscribe to my channel and like the video and share if any cybersecurity student or they want to know about the cryptography. So thank you for that. See you next video.